Hello, I'm back again, and I had stumbled back into the world, and to no surprise, I gained nothing from it. And I thought I could harbor friendships and find things that would appease to people, but it served me nothing. I was living in my own justice system of what was right and what was wrong. But as we date back to Genesis 4, from the very beginning, when Eve and Adam had their children Cain and Abel is quite a story, since Abel had brought in the sacrifice God had asked for, which is the lamb, and Cain decides to rely on the works of his hands and bring a fruit basket, which is not what God had asked for. And so even after Cain had murdered his own brother and decided to rely on his own justice system, that's when it's become so rampant. And of course, there was a pause during that time, and then Nimrod kind of took over on creating their own justice system. But that's the times that we live in today, and we're so invested in living in the world that we can't really account for the sins, because we are just humans. And so if we rely on our own sense of justice, we're really not looking towards God. Because in Ezekiel 18, it's basically saying a soul who sins will die, and there's a whole breakdown of it. And it's true, because the enemy wants to keep you sinning, and he may put a lot of people around you that don't do the works of God. They'll say his name, but don't bring him the offering that he asked. And so we just have to be super wary. The devil is like a toxic relationship you've gotten out of, and he's super narcissistic and wants to keep you captive in a stronghold of a Stockholm relationship. But really what we all need is a stable relationship and a husband, which is Christ. So are you ready to be the bride of Christ? Because I know I am. And something that keeps me super hopeful in these times is in Revelation, whenever John is having these visions, and it's proof in the pudding that there is no salvation other than Jesus Christ. Nobody can save you. No man or woman, no church, nothing is as edifying as having a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so if you pray to him, I pray to him multiple times in a day, so that way I can break away from these strongholds. And I know it makes the kingdom of hell super mad, but I have peace, and I have understanding, and I have my sanity, and most importantly, my relationship with Jesus. And so with the scroll and the lamb of Revelation 5, John wept because no one could open this scroll, and Jesus Christ ended up being the one to do so. And they say specifically that the lamb can only open the scroll. And so everything is going back to the beginning about how Jesus is our Redeemer, and he was prophesied to be the one to save us from our afflictions, to save us from our hurt and pain and sorrow. And this world is in such turmoil, and we cannot be in slumber. We really have to prepare ourselves for the time of judgment, because the Lord is coming fast.